this is live. So is it? I guess it's coming through. So that's kind of neat. That's good to hear. Hope everybody's doing well. So yeah, I guess it's working. So if you want to go ahead and what's that?
You want me to leave that there so you know?
Sure. Okay. Anyway, well, thanks for joining me today, Sunday. A little chat. I've been playing guitar probably longer than you've been living. That was the answer Joe DiArio gave me when I asked him many, many years ago, how long have you been playing, Joe? Longer than you've been living. That's funny, huh? Ay, ay, ay. So anyway, let's see. West Severson, is the light on to your left? Yes. Here. I've got this guitar kind of in the way. That's probably what the problem is. I thought I'd bring a couple guitars to kind of show, look around with. I brought a brand new John Pizano, but I went to play it just now and I realized I had installed a strap button for, it was a special order for a student. And I put it on the upper bout up here. But the lower bout, I went to strap it on just now. It wasn't there either. So I guess I got to put one there too. Didn't realize that. Sorry to be so discombobulated. Let's see. Well, now what? Let's play a tune. I got my tracks here, I hope. Let's see. Play something with the tracks. Knock it off. Okay, we got a couple things here. I'm 63, been playing since the early 70s. Oh, to be 63 again. Wow, you're lucky devil. Always wanted a semi-hollow body. It's a semi-hollow body. Cut guitar. Oh, single cut guitar. A semi-hollow single cut guitar, like a Birdland. I used to have a Yamaha 15 ACE 1500. There's some other ones like that. Okay. You have a classic Les Paul. Well, that's cool. I mean, how many guitars does a guitar player really need? Really, you need a Strat, you need a Tele, you need a nylon, you need a nice jazz box, you need a 335. You just need one more. Okay, nice mellow tone vibe. Okay. I don't look a day over 40. When was the last time you got glasses? Hey, Donna. Well, thank you very much. It's the feels like factor, if you know what I mean. You know what? I had, well, let's see. I can't do that now. I can't. Yeah, never mind. After last Sunday chat I attended, I went out and got that improvising theory class you put out. You know what? It was really interesting to revisit that material with what I currently know. Well, that's good. Good stuff. I'm addicting to buying nice guitars. Yeah, they call that GAS, the Guitar Acquisition Syndrome. There's no recovery for that. Hey, you could be buying drugs, whatever. You could be. There's a lot of bad things you could be using your money with. So don't worry about it. At this time in life, it's like, hey, if you don't get it now, when will you? So I'm all for playing a nice instrument and several. Let's see if we got that was bluesette, and those changes are kind of cool. They go like this: B flat, A minor 7 flat 5 to D7, and then so it's right around the cyclophorus. Then G minor, C, F minor, E flat, E flat. Now that's why people are supposed to learn the cyclophorus. Then 4 minor, E flat to A flat, D flat, 2/5 of B. Then it switches back, goes to C to F to B flat, and then it has a neat little turnaround. Instead of going 1 6 2 5, it's 1 flat 3, flat 6. What would that be? Flat 9. So. anyway, that's the tune, and it's a fun thing. I have a lesson on that with several solos, I believe. I'm addicted to buying new music albums. Spend hundreds each month. Wow. I've been buying LPs from thrift stores, and sometimes you can find the coolest things. Got a Stan Getz album, found some Tony Mottola albums, Kenny Burrell, who did I just get an album from? I forget the guy's name, but somebody I'd never heard of, and it was really cool. You make playing in 3 sound so smooth and natural. Hard to get out of that Wookie 3 feel. I hear you. You have too many guitars and amps. Things have really slowed down in the past month or two. When everybody got their stimulus check, things went really crazy. But anyway, one thing is for sure, if you have a quality guitar, and they generally don't go down in value too much, so you're probably it's probably good. And if you buy vintage, I tell you, Forbes had vintage guitars as listed as one of the best investments you can make. That was a while ago. However, you got to sell it, and it's like buying any collectible. It's hard to, it's easy to buy, a little harder to sell. So usually if you have to have somebody sell it for you, they want a premium. So, you're stuck. But anyway, whatever. It's better than a car, right? As soon as you buy a car, unless it's a classic car, right? As soon as you drive it off the lot, there goes 20%. Oh, what was I was going to do? Cooking. There's a tune called Cooking. And, oh, come on, isn't it on here? Let me check another spot. Sorry to do this. Let me tell you a joke. What do you tell a guitar player in a 3-piece suit? Will the defendant please rise? Here's... everything screwed up. Hey, okay, so that was called Cookin'. Clifford Brown. I've got a lot of lessons on that. That is a fantastic tune, man. I have a real fond memory of that song because I had learned it. It was when I went to my jazz instructor mentor, and I'd gone through a lot of teachers, and then finally, one of my best friends said, "You know what? You got to hook up with Charlie Shoemake." So I did. Charlie's approach was, "Here's Clifford Brown solo. Go home and learn it. Be able to play the three keys." And Charlie just recently told me that I was one of his more successful students, guitar-wise, because everybody else, it kind of crashed and burned. So the deal is, maybe I already told the story, I hope not, so I knew Ted Green because we taught at the same school or at the same place. When he heard me play that, it was like, wow, how'd you learn that? How'd you learn that? All of a sudden my stock went up. So that was cool, that tune. I have a fond memory of that song. Okay. That solo swung like hell. Yeah. Hey, Don Myers, how you doing out there? I recognize that. I saw a YouTube video of one of your blues lessons that was blues with some jazz overtone sprinkled in. Couldn't find it on your site. I believe you were playing a white Strat. Yeah, it's under blues, and it's called Jazzy Blues Solos. So yeah, I like to sneak in some of that stuff when I play blues. It's I don't know. It's just kind of what I like to hear. I like to hear some chords move instead of always playing just riffs on one chord. Okay. Okay, let's see. If you could only choose one guitar, would it be an archtop with mounted pickup and round wound strings, or same archtop with a floating and flat wound? For a jazz box, I would choose a mounted with flat wounds. That's the sound I like. By the way, I have my own special gauge, which is skinny bottom, heavy top, 13, 15, 20, 28, 38, 48. Hike, go long. Okay, that's the gauge I like. Talk more about learning solos by ear. Well, there's an interesting theory on that. No pun intended. And I am of the conviction that it's such a daunting task to transcribe that, granted, it does help your ear, but I can count on one hand how many solos I've actually transcribed. Well, a lot more than that, but in the days of when I was developing, is you're better off learning licks, solos that are already transcribed. That's my opinion, because the labor it takes for you to do it and transcribe is intensive. So why not let somebody already do the work? You got to do it, and you do it. You learn the solo, and you internalize it, and you practice the hell out of it. Okay, so you practice it so you can't make a mistake if you wanted to. So yeah, I think your time is more dedicated to that. Is best well spent. So what I do with my lessons is simply spoon feed it to you. Take crafted licks or solos or other people's solos and show you exactly what they're doing, the theory, the fingering, which is so important, that works. If you're transcribing a solo, you don't really know how they're fingering it. unless you see it on YouTube. So I personally believe let somebody else do the work who's really good at that. And then you learn to play it with the recording. After a while, your ear will develop. You'll start hearing the tones. So I wouldn't worry about it. So that's what I think you should do. I mean, it take you 6 months to transcribe a solo that you could get off the internet in 10 seconds. Greetings from Brazil. All right. I need more dad jokes in my arsenal. What do you throw a drowning guitar player? His amp. How many chick singers does it take to sing Summertime? All of them. Horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Hey, why the long face?" Okay. Since pickups only pick up string vibration, I have a feeling a hollow body jazz box sound is not transferred to the pickup, but is heard only by the guitarist playing it. I recognize the name. How you doing out there? Thank you for all your support that you've given me all through the years. I see what you're talking about. I don't agree with it. The thing about it is the tone of the box makes the string sound, give it a certain sound. And the box can definitely shape the sound. But I understand where you're coming from. And that's why they make them out of all these different woods and all that stuff. Because remember, the guitar is a game of just little tiny nuances. Here's a good illustration. You talk about string height and string. When you get a fingernail that's just growing just a little bit too long and it kind of screws up your playing. You file it down just a little bit, it's fine. That's how guitar is, man. The whole thing is like that. Everything. Okay, so I understand that, and here's another thing. I have to go back to Ted Green. Cracks me up. All right, Ted had a Telecaster. So what did he do? He had a Telecaster. He took it and honed out the whole middle under there. Honed it all out. So why? It changed the tone of his Telecaster. Big time. I was there. So it's crazy. So yeah, I think, the best way to start improvising is to, go to guitar college, go to 99-cent guitar lessons and start picking up licks and some solos, some complete solos to some of your favorite standards. I have a whole thing called Mastering Standards. But I'm starting a new website, which is going to be just jazz guitar improv. And so maybe stick around and get on that. Love and respect from Galveston. Thank you. I didn't realize that Galveston, the song Galveston, was actually about the Vietnam War. A girl, Julie Kelly, does a jazz version of the song, and she's talking about it. And then when you listen to the lyrics closely, wow. Yeah, he's talking about a guy in Vietnam and talking about Galveston. So I don't know. I always just thought it was just about, the town, but I guess it's not. So listen closely to those lyrics. Jimmy Webb, man, brilliant. And Glenn Campbell, don't you miss Glenn Campbell? It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. Thank you guys. Appearing nightly. At least be tenderly my sleeping bag, rolled up and stashed behind your couch. You know what? As soon as I stopped singing, I started working all the time. It's knowing that the world will not be cursing or forgiving when I walk along some railroad track and find. I like that guy. There's a little blurb in Tommy Tedesco's book, and Tommy ended up being on the show. Tommy Tedesco and Glenn Campbell, good friends from the Wrecking Crew. And so anyway, in the blurb, there's a little thing where they're doing a rehearsal for the show. Tommy yells out, "If I could sing and wasn't so fat, I'd have my own show." So I got another story. I wonder if I had to tell it. Why not? A friend of mine played with Glenn Campbell. His name's Pat Flynn with Newgrass Revival. We went to high school together. So he actually hit his last single, I think. Glenn Campbell's last single is I think it's called "She's Gone," and Glenn on the record says something like "Scat Pat," and Pat plays this burning acoustic guitar solo. So anyway, Pat was always asking him about the Sinatra days. Excuse me, the Wrecking Crew days. So he says, "Well, let me tell you this one story." So this is what Pat told me. Glenn gets a call to do a Sinatra session. Glenn Campbell can't read music. Glenn, though, has got super ears and can play anything he hears. So he gets there early, and the musical director, goes over the chart with him and, tells him all the chord changes, and they rehearse it and all that stuff. And so that's great. And so then all the musicians start showing up. Then in walks Frank Sinatra. And Frank and his entourage, and they're in the corner. So then Glenn and the musical director says, I forget the guy's name too. Says, "Let me introduce you to Frank." Oh, wow, fantastic. So he comes over there and he says, "Frank, this is young, talented guitarist named Glenn Campbell. Hello, Mr. Sinatra. It's a pleasure meeting you. And I want to say that I'm going to work really hard, and I am going to overdub a beautiful guitar solo for you on this recording." Frank says, "Son, kid, overdubbing's for faggots." Probably shouldn't have said that, but hey, it's funny. So anyway, he didn't like overdubbing. Everything was live, right? Okay. Enough of that. I don't know how I got on that. Okay. Texas is hot weather these days. I like to listen to your videos when I go to sleep along with your guitar stories. It's soothing. Hey, don't drive the car and listen to them. I don't want to be responsible for you crashing into somebody. Yes, Tedesco's book. I proofread that book. Dizzy did a version of Galveston. Yeah, that's cool. That's great too. All right, well, why don't I play something? What the heck? Excuse me. I don't know. what do we got in this? Sometimes you got to look at the box and say, hey, what do you want to do? Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you this L5. So, guy I know sold this L5 to, and now he said he's going to get two custom guitars made by Rebecca, and he decided that I can't afford them all and still have this L5, and so he wanted me to try to sell it for him. And beautiful guitar. It's a 78. So you just heard those guitars. Oops. That was a Heritage, my Heritage. Here is a L5. I've had a few L5s in my day. I had one I traded a car for, a 67. The car was a 70. Oops. But anyway, Holder has a funny Sinatra story. Ron Anthony played with Sinatra for a long time. So anyway, here it is. Let's see. How about we do something like let's do something easy. Go, play. You know what's so good about having tracks and stuff? The band doesn't scream when you put them in the trunk. Okay. This didn't have the intro on it. All right, hold it, stop. Anyway, here's the guitar. Summertime, living is easy, especially when there's nowhere to go. I think I'm driving the level, so that's why things are distorted. Whoops. No wonder the mic sucks. It's over there. I am awful sorry, guys. Why don't you pay attention? Backing band, yeah. What kind of neck strap do you use? I found this strap a long time ago, and I've never been able to find another. So I'm dreading the day that it totally falls apart. I fixed it 100 times. Yeah, the mic. I ought to move the mic where it's supposed to go. Sheesh. Oh gosh, let's see. What should we play? Rosie and the Belmonts. I thought it was Dion. Let's see. The worst thing is having when you lose concentration. Sometimes playing something up, you're involved in it more, so you don't lose concentration. Have I already played this? I think I have, haven't I? Let's do something else. Yeah, I'm looking at all these things here and I'm thinking, what? Do you really believe Wes wasn't familiar with modes? Modes weren't taught like they are nowadays like that. I go with the old theory of how you learn modes, which is basically how you interpret a chord. If I have an A minor chord, if I think, well, it's the 2 chord of G, well, if I play everything in the key of G, it's a Dorian sound. If I say, no, this A minor, I'm going to treat it as the 3 of F, okay, well, then it's going to be a Dorian, let's see, Aeolian, it's going to be a Phrygian sound, right? If I treat it as the 6th chord, it's going to be Aeolian. If I have a C major chord, if I play it as treat it as a 1 chord and play in the key of G, it's Ionian. If I treat it as a 4 chord, that would be in the key of D. So I play everything in the key of D, and now it's got a Lydian sound. So that's how you approach modes. I think that's the easiest thing. Otherwise, it's just finger patterns. The beautiful thing about playing modes is, or thinking that way in terms of home keys, is you can play arpeggios of everything in a home key, and it sounds cool. Ta-da! That's my feeling. The work song, I just happen to have something like that here, I think. Well, maybe not. Thought I did. Let me try this again. No, shit, I don't. I like that song. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing a lesson. I have a lesson on it, but I'm going to be using it in a different key on this new course that we're working on. So anyway, let's do something else then. How about let's do something up. Now let's play something. Oh no, that ain't how it goes. That's Pen Up House. I think that's Clifford Brown as well. Let's see. Oh, when they were talking about greetings from Florida, String Bender 57, another familiar name. Thank you. Little blue and green. It's not easy being green. Girl from Ipanema. You know, when somebody was asking about improv, I forgot what I was going to say about it. Sorry, I'm so scatterbrained. I guess I, you know, when you say you're going to go on at 5 o'clock, and then you start getting ready at 4:30. You think you got plenty of time, and then all of a sudden you can't get stuff to work. Well, what do you think of this? 78. This is how they were making them. Nice neck. Bada boom, bada bing. Hey, let me show you this John Pizano guitar. So I was going to call up John before this thing just to tell him that I got this guitar, and man, you should be proud because they are making your model with a lot of love. You can just see it, man. So here's the guitar. Look at the back on that. Just a beautiful finish. It's got maple binding. See the binding on that? Solid spruce top. It's got the frog there, John's frog. You go to his house, he's got little frogs all over the place, not the real ones. 16-inch. I think it's 2.5-inch wide. It's got that beautiful neck, 1 3/4-inch nut width, ebony fretboard. And then this is really looking bitchin' now. They've got this so you can get at the truss rod quite easily. Now, don't you think that's funny how they make that? That must mean you must need to adjust your truss rod often. And that's very, very true. Everything changes on your guitar. Remember, it's just like your fingernail getting just a millimeter tiny too long. Same thing with your guitar. You could, whoops, this doesn't have a strap button. Strings lose tension. The neck now is humping a little more. Things change. Humidity goes up and down. The top, it's like a sponge. It goes up and down. Woo. Let's pick a song. Beautiful. What tune was that? Go. Anyway, there it is. That's what a John Pizano sounds and plays like. It's got these bitchin' ass little finders there, fret markers. John says so you can see them when you're on stage and the light is blinding you. They light up like a Christmas tree. So that's kind of a neat feature. Does anyone own an Epi Joe Pass? And if so, thoughts? Yeah, Joe Pass, they're not a bad guitar. I played one once, a guy that took all the electronics out of it and put new pots on it. I think he even had it refretted, and it was really nice. Whatever. It's a nice, if you like the tone of it, you kind of have to have you want a guitar that when you plug it in and you turn it on and you hook it up and you hit one note and you go, that's what you want. So that's what I look for. The tone is so important. You might not think it's all about playability. It's all about tone as well. So playability, tone, and it doesn't hurt if it looks good. It's kind of like having a wife that is willing to work, has got a great attitude, and she looks good too. What more could you ask for? Well, she cook. Okay, so I'm lucky in that respect. Okay. Larry Wiseman? No way. Really? Is that you, Larry? Me and Larry we were in a band in high school. Can that be you, really? Wow, how cool, Larry. We do a thing a friend of mine puts on. I came from a little town called Thousand Oaks, which was outside of Los Angeles, about 30, 40 miles from downtown Los Angeles. And so it was kind of nestled in the 60s, kind of on its own. There was the valley, San Fernando Valley, and then you had a lot of open land, and then you had Thousand Oaks. And in that little community, in the 60s, bands were abound, right? They were all over the place. Everybody had a band. And Larry and I were in a band briefly. But every year, a friend of mine puts on a Thousand Oaks band reunion. And we get together with our old bands. And actually, it's once every 2 years. We get together with our old bands and we play some of the old music from back then. And we just have a blast. And Larry has come to that a couple of times. And it's so nice. Comes all the way from Florida for that. And I appreciate that, Larry. It's so nice to see you and that you that's right. Our band was called Colors, and we spelled it with Colours. I guess that's the English version. And Larry was he was a guitar player, but he also played electric piano, and he did the Doors, Light My Fire, and he could play the bass line, and we did that and the other Doors song, whatever that was. Break on through. I mean, what a tune that was. So Larry played the crap out of that song. So cool. Yes, I have watched Echo in the Canyon. That's pretty cool. That's a tune about Laurel Canyon. A documentary about Laurel Canyon and the bands Buffalo Springfield, the Byrds, Barry McGuire. Barry McGuire lives in Fresno, and I got to talk with him for a while, a few times. I started a little Christian television show that was airing on a Christian network. We only did 4 shows, but Barry was in it. He was part of the New Christy Minstrels, and then he did, his Eva Destruction and stuff. So anyway, so he's in that show. What a wild bunch, man. That was cool. Echo in the Canyon. Used to drive from the valley to Laurel Canyon, go to Hollywood there, and you drive right by, I guess it was Rudy Valley's house. No, Winchester Cathedral guy. Yeah, Larry. It's weird how you develop through the years. We all started off in my generation playing. I started off playing surf music, with Dick Dale and all that kind of stuff. Dick Dale, the Ventures, that was the stuff. And then, of course, the Beatles came out. It was all over with. And then and then the Stones, and then Jimi Hendrix, and then Eric Clapton, and then Jeff Beck. I love Jeff Beck. And then somebody turned me on to Tal Farlow, Wes Montgomery. It was all over. So it's weird how you develop, but you'd never forget your roots, and you have a fond memory. I listen an awful lot to 60s music. And then, I started playing with a lot of the 50s guys from in the Dick Clark show. And so I have a real fondness for that music, for the 50s. And plus also not the jazz 50s, the pop music 50s. Also my cousins, they were older than I, and they always listened to their music. I always listened to their music. So that was real special. So let's see. Here's a song. If I can find it. Oh, let's do something. How about easy? Where'd it go? How about, I like this song, Doxy. Doxy. Cool little tune, huh? Okay, so let's see. Because I love your music so much, I bought a Heritage Golden Eagle and a Quilter amplifier. Wow. Good for you, man. Well, thank you so much. I think you got a great combination there. It probably doesn't get any better than that. So is your Golden Eagle with a floating pickup? I was curious about that. Golden Eagles are like an L5. They're just ornate. I'll play mine next week. I think the poor technique naysayers are really wrong. Let's see, I wish more people who didn't play proper technique with their left hand would talk about how they approach the fretboard and fretting notes differently. I think the poor technique, I see. Okay, so yeah, man, I've been going through issues with that for a long, long time. And I don't call it poor technique. I call it slurring technique or legato technique. And that simply means you avoid the little finger. You use these fingers a lot, and you do a lot of pull-offs and hammer-ons, okay? Proper technique was invented by classical players. And so the jazz guitar players adapted it, of course, using the little finger, playing a scale like this. Now I play a scale like this. And it cuts down on this, and it makes I never played with Dick Dale, but my cousin lived with his mother and in his mansion, and and he lived next door. He had a mansion, and then he put a wall down the middle of it, and he rented the one half to his mother, and my cousin lived with his mother. This is a long, long time ago, and Dick Dale lived on the other side. Then he moved out to Palm Desert, 29 Palms. How do you move from the beach to 29 Palms? And anyway, I've talked to him on a bus going at the NAMM show, and I've talked to him at the NAMM show a couple times. Nice guy. He's no longer with us. I didn't realize he had so many health problems from early on too, and it's sad. But what a contribution. I saw him in Vegas too, right after we got married, 1970 something. What a contribution he did. So he played left-handed, right? No, was it left-handed? Yeah, he was left-handed. Turned the guitar upside down so that the low string was down here, and he could just really get on it and go with it. Live string audio still ain't what it should be. What is it? Is it distorting or is it intermittent? I don't know. We're working on it. Okay, Seymour Duncan's on your no to hamburgers. Here's an interesting. Have you ever done this exercise? Isn't that funny exercise? I like it. Anyway, there's 24 ways of using your fingers. What is your go-to gigging guitar? You are under oath. Well, two of them. This, and if it's a real loud gig, I use a Heritage 550. If there's going to be monitors and stuff, Heritage 550. Those are the two. If it's like a classic rock thing, it's my 347. That's what I've used all along. And then, of course, I do bring a nylon string sometimes. I have a Chet Atkins nylon. That's older. I ought to bring that, and we'll talk about that guitar one of these days. Best career highlight. This is it right here. This is my best career highlight. You know, had I known, I'd never, back in the Dick Clark days, I wish I would have taken some pictures. I never did. And everybody I know several of the people in the band are gone. Dick Clark's gone, So I just never took any pictures. There's one picture of me playing with Bo Diddley, and it's so far away you can't even tell who it is. And that's about it. I wish I would have taken more pictures. It wasn't like back then, like now, you snap a picture. I had to get it developed. Backing track is distorted. Okay. Well, look at you guys. I want to thank everybody for really coming and doing this. It's really special to have you guys. And Larry Wiseman, come on, man. Really? Thank you, Larry. Gee whiz. And my son, Wes, I don't know if he's still listening, but hi. Yeah, just finishing up. So anyway, really, thank you again for stopping in. I feel like Mr. Rogers. Okay, so we'll do it next Sunday. Same bat time, same bat station. See you later. Thanks again, guys. Okay, now here's the question. How do you